I often say AI is a poetic event. That AI is pure poetry. Why would I say something like that? Well, that relates back to conceptual thinking on the one hand, and to Rainer Maria Rilke on the other hand, the Austrian Czech poet of the 19th century. And in one of his books called Duinisa Elegien, Rilke offered in passing a definition of what poetry is. And the way he did it is like, he said, what is poetry? Everything, comma, new line, is not itself. And if you inhabit that thought, that formulation for a second, then what he's saying is somehow that things, everything, are not themselves, are not identical with themselves, as if at the very center of things there were their potential to be otherwise, different. If you link this to conceptual thinking, it makes perfect sense. Like a concept constitutes things as something that we can know, that we can experience, that we can study, that we can understand. But the thing is never reducible to the concept of the thing that we have. And as concepts change over time, the way something is, the thing it is, also changes. So what if poetry is the steady release of things from the concept of the thing that we have? Now, AI is a poetic event. Why? Well, because it releases technology from the concept of technology that we had. It releases technology from the machine concept that we have. It releases technology from the distinction between humans and machines, organisms and machines, living things and non-living things, or beings and things. And it puts us in a poetic space, a space where concepts don't work. Could call this pure freedom. That's something that you want to preserve. You want to enjoy that experience. So AI is a poetic event, and I assure you, the strongest experience of that poetic event that I could ever find was in the most radical R&D departments of tech labs and companies, because the engineers building AI know that this is not fitting the concepts within which we have been doing technology. So what can you do? Well, who are people who are experts of creating poetic experiences, inhabiting that space, and building products that make that available? Well, there's a group of people who does that for a living. They're called artists, right? They try to release things from themselves, capture that openness, and make it available in a product. We could do that too with AI, totally. Like, we can build AI that makes the poetic newness of AI available and experiential to people. That's one response. The other response is to say, if you think that the concepts that we live by, like technology and machine and so on, were invented in the 19th century, and you look at the university and you go like, oh yeah, the university is organized in terms of 19th century concepts. I mean, most disciplines reflect 19th century comprehensions of the world. And you're like, oh wow, that's a major chance to actually build the university completely different in terms of all those things that overflow the 19th century disciplines and don't fit in them. So let's undifferentiate poetry, philosophy, and engineering. Funny as it sounds, I mean this deadly serious. And build these new experimental schools. Like, if literally you and I don't do this, who will do this? Who?